All right, it says I'm live, so I am back. Hey, Zen friends. So I'm jumping back on just for a special session. I didn't complete any free readings in the earlier session, and I didn't get to a handful or two of the donations. So I'm coming back on to finish the donations. I'm not coming back on to do the free readings. I do that on Sundays only now. So if you'd like to try, I'm on Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights from 6 to 9 p.m. Mountain, and then on Saturday and Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain time. So if you return then on any of those times, we can see if we can get you in there. And if you come back on Sundays, if I don't get to that, then I will get to you in the afternoon. So we'll get a message from Spirit for you at some point. And thank you again for all your patience and getting to all your readings whenever I can, and all the donations for coming back on. So I did put in the pinned comment of the previous session, all the people that I did not get to, which I'll be getting here as well. And then we will return. I just noticed, yeah, I've been out in the sun a lot, working on the weeds and stuff outside. Can you tell I was wearing gloves? Especially here. Whoa, because I'm a bit red. I just noticed my hands are like glowing. And maybe it's spirit. That's what it is. Anyway, thank you guys again so much. We'll jump in, and I will do a pinned comment after I'm done with this as well, with the timestamps as per usual. So we will do that. But just quickly, it's going to be Johanna, and then Shanji, and then Tabitha, and then Michelle Smith, and then Anna, and then Sonali Thakur, and then Sudeshna times 2. Then we'll jump to Patty, and then back to Sudeshna for the last 2. So that's the donations that I had left. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So let us begin and jump in here. So Johanna, thank you so much for your donation earlier. So thank you for the second donation. For everyone waiting for theirs, I will, even if you made if I gave you a fortune cookie in the past one, I'll give you a fortune cookie. So everyone in this stream will get one fortune cookie as well. So if I didn't get to you, like I know Tabitha, Shanji, Johanna, yeah, so you 3, even though you got one in the last one because you waited to get to your other questions, I'm going to grant you another fortune cookie. Yay. All right. So Johanna, you met one of your childhood favorite actresses randomly. Nothing's random, my dear. Oh my gosh, I love that for you. So you were totally unprepared. Of course, when we all meet our especially a favorite actress too. What impression did you leave? You were a little bit starstruck. Don't blame me at all for that. So let's see here. What was her impression of you? These over here. Okay, thank you. Boom, boom, and okay, what else? All right. Give you those 3 too. All right. 4 of Pentacles energy coming in here. It's a good energy, of course, on one side of it, of, what other people think of us. This is an important energy of we define who we are. Not that they had a bad impression. I don't know. I can't imagine. With these cards, I don't see the cards yet, but the energy of them doesn't feel this. But it's like just an important reminder. No matter what anyone thinks or says in the outside world, I am the one who determines what my worth is, right? But wondering what other people's impressions of us are. It's always a good reminder to come back to us and go, wait a minute, what are my impressions of me? That's what's most important. And what my impressions of them were are a reflection of myself too. So the grandness that I saw in them also is because I have grandness inside of me, right? So kind of feel here I'm going to grab a cough drop here. Um, there is a feeling of home, and I don't know if you remind her of someone that she knew back home kind of energy, because it definitely has this home energy that's underlying the question around what her impression of you were. It's like, you remind me of like my niece or my neighbor or someone that she's worked with, or but I feel like it's back home, not so much, it feels more homey than business, like show business. It's more, she's like, you remind me of that. So very personal. Let's see what else we had here. We have the tower energy here. I do feel like it is someone that that's not in their life anymore. So it could have been like, um, and it could be someone that they knew when they were younger that has passed away or whatever, and they're like, you remind me of that person. But I feel like they were suddenly removed out of their life, like by death, and so you reminded them of that. So it might have taken them back a little bit if you notice them kind of looking at you and going, and if they, I don't know if they asked you any questions about like family or anything. I don't feel like maybe they did, but I feel like they were going, I wonder. Six of Swords energy. I like this. This is um, definitely this smooth transactional energy. Six of Swords, three swords on each side. They felt that you carried on a good conversation. I feel like they were a bit distracted, so they didn't even notice any kind of starstruckedness. They were just like, um, whatever they were going on with them, they kind of felt they were a little off already anyway as well. So I don't feel like they noticed anything. They felt like the conversation was equal and fine. And we got the Temperance energy here, Sagittarius fire energy, um, patient, um, flowing kind of energy. I feel like they were kind of in this, not really, I don't feel like they were in a rush to get anywhere. They kind of just slowed down for the moment and just were going with the flow of it. And so I don't feel like they were really like analyzing or kind of energy. It just kind of felt like what there was going on with them. They were looking for a space to just be, if that makes sense. Let's see what this other energy is, because it doesn't feel like they were, not that you didn't leave an impression, but I feel like, because you did touch a heart chord with who you looked like and reminded them of. Let's see what else we have here. And the Four of Swords, peace of mind. Yeah, there is this with the fours, the solid energy. Like you just made them feel at ease. And there was some energy with that. Yeah, Four of Cups, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. And the King of Pentacles. Yeah, this feeling of solidness. You did make them feel, um, you helped to bring in this grounding energy with what was ever going on with them. And that temperance is balancing energy too. And that makes sense with all these fours and everything and the King of Pentacles. I feel like you calmed them with your energy and you calmed them with your presence. And I feel like with you, I'm sure you shared with them like, oh my God, you're like one of my favorite. It just made them feel, it gave them what they needed today when you met them. It's like, but that was our mind. The way, like you really made me feel good about myself today. I feel like there was something going on. You brought balance and you brought this for him. Um, so I like that. We'll see what else with your fortune cookie here, but I feel like that's a beautiful impression. I think you calmed me down. I was upset about something, but you just really brought him back. So let's see here. What's your fortune cookie say about this situation? All right. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in. Yeah, the descent into hell. I'm just kidding. That's not hell, is it? No, it's candles. Flames, but not big flames. It's not the flames of hell. So the descent in which we seek out and ultimately stand before the judgment of the dark goddess in the underworld destroys outdated forms of living and being. It prepares the ground for the wisdom we need to give birth to our most authentic self, the self that knows its place in the world and fully belongs. The descent cannot be avoided because the heroine's journey requires us to make a sacrifice before we might continue on our path. We're asked to sacrifice our old upper world self, all the parts of us which once were preserved by our attachments to what we now understand to be the wasteland. There, in the relentless dark, the ego begins to be dismantled. Will be taken apart, broken into pieces, so that we can begin the long, hard work of putting the fragments back together again and rebirthing ourselves into a new and more authentic pattern. There's no escaping this process, and it can be hard. But in that place of destruction, gestation, and rebirth, we'll begin to explore the biggest question of all. If we strip away everything we're told we must be, what's left? When we choose to let go of everything that once we imagined defined us and mattered to us, what then might we become? Wow. Again, going back to that Four of Pentacles in the beginning of stripping away all of that idea of what other people think of us matters, right? There's this movement away, finding our authentic self and realizing I'm going to have to be. I feel like one of the pieces of advice she would give you is just know that the critics are, if you read what the critics say about you, good or bad, it's going to take you away from your authentic self. Let yourself be true. Don't even let yourself be your good or bad critic. Allow yourself just to be and express you. And I feel like that's the big message that comes through. So that's what they have for you. I know that wasn't quite maybe what you were looking for, but that's what you got. All right. Love you. Thank you again for your donations. Love you. Okay. Sean G, you are up. Grab your time stop and drink some water. Oh, my goodness. Thought I was going to lose my voice. Oh, my God. You're not so lucky. All right. And you got 1313 as your timestamp, which is interesting, right? So, Sean, thank you for your earlier donations as well. I appreciate those. So, you just met a new guy, D. We're adding to the alphabet. Ching, ching, ching. What's the energy around the connection? Let's take a look here. Too funny, too funny. A, B, C. Simple as 1, 2, 3. Right? All right. Let's see what the energy is here. All right. Well, we do have 9 of Cups energy here, which is a lot of dream come true energy, emotional fulfillment, like feeling like you're filling up with emotion. You do have the 2 of Cups on the bottom too. So I feel like their energy really is an energy of, I feel like this one's relationship oriented. But let's see what else we have here, of course, too. That's the underlying energy. I feel like they're, excuse me, didn't mean to cough in the microphone. It feels like there's this energy of, I'm looking for this dream relationship. That's their intention. I'm looking for a dream relationship. Well, let's see what that is about. Got the High Priestess. High Priestess energy is an interesting energy for all this, but very intuitive. Oh, okay. I see. So there is a lot of past life connections between the two of you. In fact, maybe you have felt that. Like you felt like, why is there's this strong draw so fast? It's like, no, you're not in heat. Well, maybe you are. But a bunch, as I joke with my host. I think you're in heat. She's like, I think I am. I'm like, we'll make sure to chain you down like a werewolf so you don't hurt people. But joke aside, I feel like there is this strong connection, and you're wondering why. It's because of these past life. Because the high priestess, she of course goes into our high priestess temple, connects with spirit, looks behind the veil, but dives deep into the subconscious, to the emotional world, and that's where the Akashic records are. So I do feel like there is this many lifetimes that you guys have had together kind of energy. All right. Yeah, they are seeking to with the Ace of Swords and the Six of Swords, there's this energy of wanting clarity around who you are. I love these conversations that I feel you guys will have here, because I feel like great conversations, like um, seeing different sides of things, and that it's not arguments, and it's not, it's interesting, and both of you are like, oh my god, really, blah 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 blah. A lot of great stories that you share about your lives with each other, and you really see how much um, there's not like a ton like, oh my god, we live the same life, but a lot of experiences that you guys have gone through together, not together, but um, independently. Like, oh my god, my um, I went to a non-denominational Christian school, for my high school year or what years or whatever. Oh my god, I did too, and blah blah blah. Did you? Oh my god, yeah, we use those same type of curriculum. Shut up, It's that kind of stuff where you're like, wow, experiences, and were you traumatized by it too? Oh yeah, So I love the stories that you guys have for each other, but I feel like it's really cerebral, which is great, because I feel like that is what is lacking in a lot of your other alphabet letters. Is I want communication, and I feel like that will come here. Yeah, even the Eight of Swords on the bottom, so much continue. I mean, all that's the underlying energy under those two cards. So much sword, so much communication, so much thinking, letting go of thoughts and beliefs that don't serve you anymore. And I just feel like you guys really give each other different perspectives on things. It could even be some opposites. Like what's popping into my head is like, I used to envy people who have lived in the same town all their lives. Because I probably have moved uh, in my 58 years of life. I know. Who would have known? Who would have thunk? Um, as a vampire, no. Probably 35 or more times, and lived in probably 8, 9, 10 different states. And a lot of that, well, I'd say maybe half of that was when I was before the age of 13. And it's like, wow. Uh, and I thought I was cheated out of growing up and having, the same friends in grade school and all that, and and not, having to leave after a year, 2 years, and moving. And then I meet people who have had that, lived in the same town all their lives. And they're like, oh my God, if I could have lived your life. And you just really realize you don't see, you look at your life differently, going, wow, what an adventure I was, instead of having regrets around things we really, have wonderful things. And I feel like that's kind of the conversations that happen with you guys, that kind of awarenesses. You also have the Chariot. Ooh. So the energy, of course, is up to you and the sun. So there is this great energy. You've got the moon energy of the Cancer sign and the sun card. So there is this two different shades of relationship. One that is very bright and sunshiny. The other one is emotional. There's a lot of deep emotion that comes in here, a lot of caring energy. So I feel like you guys, it's like we laugh together, we cry together kind of energy that comes in here. That's funny. But I do like it. I feel like they're saying, of course, there's a lot of brightness around this. There's a lot of great energy around this. But the Chariot card does tell you that um, remember your power of choice, that the energy around a relationship is up to you. Whatever you focus on, if you're focusing on expectations, then you get more lack, you get more missingness and more disappointment. But if you focus on what you're grateful for, then that changes things. You get more of what you're grateful for. So I like that. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in around this D-man, the demon. not in a bad way. You got the crossroads. Yeah. 10 endings and beginnings. So it does feel maybe they are at a crossroads in their life. In European mythology, the crossroads is a liminal place and one where gods and other worldly beings might linger. It's a site where sacred encounters take place with friends, strangers, and perhaps with beings from outside of our reality. Oh my God, he's an alien. I'm just kidding. You might encounter your ancestors there. Approach it in a spirit of both reverence and caution. Whoa. To arrive at the crossroads, because this is your guys' relationship, right? To arrive at the crossroads is to arrive at a choice point. Choices, there we go again. You might hesitate and hover on it for a while, but you cannot stay there forever. Eventually, you'll be forced to make a decision. As a consequence of the path you choose to take here, your life will be forever changed. But the path you should take is rarely obvious, and the events that might follow from your choice are often unpredictable. The crossroads card then represents a place where you're not in control, but if change is both inevitable and undiscoverable, don't fear it. Listen to whoever you might encounter there, and then trust yourself to make the choice. Because there are no wrong choices at the crossroads, every path holds out the promise of a homecoming. And wherever you might find yourself traveling, you'll learn something important and necessary from the experience. Wow. What a perfect card for D. All right. So that's what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings. Thank you again for your multiple donations. I greatly appreciate that. All right. And then Tabitha, you are up, Tabs. And thank you for your multiple donations as well. And you wanted to know about health. So a general reading on health, of course, disclaimer is in the description box. I am not a licensed medical professional. We have to say this in the United States. And tarot is for fun, and ultimately everyone else makes their own choices for their own life. I accept no liability for anyone's choices ever, but even during readings. So, disclaimer said, check. Let's check the here. All right, so health. Let's take a look. What does Spirit want you to know about health? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. This one here. These two here. These two here. Okay. Right, so bottom of the deck, you do have the devil card. Oh my gosh, you are possessed by the devil. No, I'm just kidding. The devil card, I think we had that already in one of your readings. We did. They're showing it to me because you had the, it's the long-held beliefs to be let go of, which is stress and all those expectations. And so we have the shadow that comes up to show us our fears, to rattle our cage, to show us that below the surface in our subconscious, if we're not conscious of these old beliefs and thoughts and even emotions that don't serve us anymore, they are causing stress. Our inner child could feel unsafe and out of control. And because of these long held beliefs that we feel that we're breaking and we're not living up to below the surface, even if we're not, especially if we've been having a very high bar on ourselves all our lives, we're judging ourselves against an unrealistic thing that even has contradicting things in it. So we'll never be able to meet it. And so we judge ourselves harshly over it. If not consciously, subconsciously, we have a little chatter, me, And this, of course, most of the things in our bodies are stress related, according to WebMD and Google, if we look out there. But there is a lot of our problems with the human body happen because of stress, of course, right? When we go into fight or flight mode, which is what our inner child puts us in when it feels unsafe or out of control, stranger danger, whoop, whoop, whoop. Our body does things like our digestive system shuts down, our immune system shuts down. It's supposed to be temporary, but if it keeps shutting down instead of being running at capacity to keep us at our high health, then we have stuff that kind of unfolds because of that. So de-stressing is very important part of your adventure for your physical health. All right, let's see. These three are loaded together. Let's see what it is. King of Wands. Which Kings of Wands is where our choices of where we're investing our energy. We have the Sun card, which is the inner child. Usually there's a baby riding a horse. I'm getting inner child energy here. And the Ace of Pentacles, our self-worth energy below the surface. So there is this, do I deserve health? Do I deserve, do I deserve health? A little inner child energy just is like, I'm punishing myself through my physical body. And so there might be some forgiveness, some release of these expectations. Set yourself free from this unrealistic laws that are conditional and not real. They're rooted in fear and opinion that are not yours. And you can free yourself from that. And because it's like I feel like there's this energy below the surface that you've judged yourself very harshly because you're the judge, the jury, the attorney, the prison, and all, and you're punishing, and not consciously, right? Sometimes we do consciously punish ourselves, but unconsciously, subconsciously, I'm punishing myself. So really, I feel like there's some energy to look into here because it does talk about I deserve to be punished, so I am punishing myself, suffering and pain. And it's like you don't deserve that. You deserve perfect health. And so I like that energy that's coming in here. I feel like this will set you free. Yeah. Queen of Pentacles, Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, nurturing yourself, giving yourself that love. And we do get to reparent ourselves, no matter no matter how amazing our parents are. Hey, Deb. No parent ever, and I know Deb would agree that no parent is ever perfect. They can't give us all the unconditional love, all the conditional attention, all the unconditional acceptance, because we're human. These human characters we're playing give conditional love. It's how we're taught from generation to generation, and by the time we do our inner work, it's already too late. We've already passed everything on. And so you get to reparent yourself. You get to become this perfect nurturing, and you get to hold your inner child, and you get to tell them You deserve love. You deserve acceptance. You deserve. You are worthy, right? So you get this nurturing energy definitely coming in here. And of course, caring for your health, your body, doing the things, whatever, treat our bodies like we love it, what we feed it, how we act, what we do, the steps we take to calm ourselves. All of that is because we love our bodies and, etc. All right, what else? You got the Seven of Cups. Yeah, a lot of emotional uh, energy here. And the Three of Swords. Yeah, Three of Swords, heartache, disappointment. So the Seven of Cups with the Three of Swords does tell me, of course, that's the pain, the suffering, all so much emotional energy, emotional block with the Seven of Cups. If you haven't checked out the book, I'm sure your mom probably has it. If not, you can look up for free online too. You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Oh my God, I can't believe I spaced her name. My apologies, Louise. Uh, she has a great book. It's an amazing book. And within the book, they actually list all the symptoms and what she channeled of being the emotional reason behind the symptoms, and then even affirmations that help us change our focus on the energy of pain and suffering to the higher. The King of Wands also coming in here. I'm glad they brought me back to that, because the King of Wands is whatever I focus my energy on. So what I grow and expand. So if I focus on I need healing, then I'm going to get more things to heal from. If I focus on health and gratitude for the health I have had and do have, then I get more health. So one is a lack energy. If I focus on my pain, I get more pain. If I focus on my unpain, for the other amazing things, I draw on things that match that. So being aware of where I'm focusing my energy, we are taught to focus on the lower vibration growing up in this society. What am I fearing? What am I not having? What do I need? What do I want? What is missing in my life? But the problem is, when we focus on that, we invite more of that same emotion to expand, rather than um, focusing on the things we love and have those come in. It's like if you walk into a donut shop and you point at all the donuts you hate, you end up with a dozen donuts you hate. If you point at everything you love, you end up with a dozen donuts of things you love. Right? All right. What else? You do have the Six of Wands. So there is victory and balancing of energy that's available with the Nine of Pentacles. Feeling of abundance and fullness that comes in here too. So you have the ability with an energetic change to have victory in your health. And it's amazing. Our bodies are such amazing creations when we realize that we can help our bodies be that, or we can work against our bodies, which is a lot what we're taught to do. They're like, help me help you. All right. So hopefully that helps. um, I was going to say, if you don't buy the book by Louise Hay, you can even just search like emotional and spiritual reasons for, gas. Emotional and spiritual reasons for leg pain, you know, emotional and spiritual reasons for our migraines, and just see what resonates. You'll get a million billion hits. But these days, what I love about AI, even though I know they're going to help us take over the world, they summarize, and you can just be like, wow, such beautiful things. And whatever resonates for you is what you can glean from. So let's see what else we have here for you, Tabs, for your fortune cookie around health. What else would you like, Tabs? Nope, none of those. All right. None of those two. That was a bunch. All right. It's going to be obvious, they said. And there it is. All right. Old Woman of Dreams, the Maker of Visions. Interesting energy. Sorry, I'm crunching my cough drop. It has helped clear it up. All right. An old Scottish folktale tells of an old woman and an old man who live in a cave high up in the Cuillin Mountains of the Isle of Skye. The couple are the creators of all the dreams of the world. The old woman of dreams has deep vision. She can see and understand everything that's happening in the world by looking into a dark pool in the cave. She uses this knowledge to create the substance out of which her husband crafts the dreams of the world. The two of them together, quite literally dreaming the world into being. The story tells of a young girl who loses her way in misty weather and stays with the couple for a year and a day, helping them with their work. As a consequence, the girl comes to understand the importance of apprenticeship. She emerges from the old woman's tuition with the knowledge of how to interpret dreams, a skill she later finds valuable in her husband's country, in which she in turn passes on to the people to the benefit of all. The Old Woman of Dreams card reminds us that we should always take time to apprentice ourselves to the knowledge of our dreams, sleeping dreams. Although many of our dreams don't make sense to us in a narrative context, nevertheless, the characters who populate them and the images which appear hold information that might be helpful to us along our path. Ooh. So our dreams also reflect the wisdom of our inner self, the part of us that knows what's good for us, even when our conscious mind does not. So it's interesting talking about health with all this. Pay attention to your dreams, because I feel like your inner child and your spiritual posse, they use our dream world. They'll start bringing things into the peripherals and the outside world as well. Before they just bring things and go, look at this. They'll bring things in our dreams. And we'll wake up going, what the hell was that about? But write them down if you can, what you remember. Search, again, Google, what's the meaning of that or whatever. I also do dream interpretation, so you can always ask here if you want, or email. But it's this knowing that that's how they communicate us. Pay attention to our dreams. Pay attention to other people going through things in the outside world, especially emotional things, because that's going to point us to some of the emotional things below the surface for us. So that's what they have for you, Tabitha. Hopefully that helps. And that's what they got. So many blessings. Thank you again for all your donations. Good to meet you. All right. Michelle Smith, you are up. Thank you for your patience in getting to your reading here. So a general read for the week. Let's take a look-see. All right. We are fresh. Let's take a sip here. So, Michelle, what does Spirit want you to know for the week? All right. 1, 2, and 3. What else? And 1. And 1, 2. Yeah, I kind of felt like there was going to be something a bit out of order next week, it feels, because it's 3 cards and 1 card and then 2 cards. Normally it's 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3 in human counting anyway. So when I get an obvious out of pattern energy, it's a message in itself. Things won't unfold exactly in order. It may bounce all over the place. But overall, the week with the Hanged Man is a week of transformation. It's a week of, there's even the 7 of Pentacles underneath, that there is this slowness of things with both of these. The Hangman can be like a paused kind of energy, because takes time for a caterpillar to transform into like a butterfly. Transformation can take time. So it feels like the week goes like things don't like happen like that. It just kind of moves along and grows in its own time. And I feel like there's a message of don't try to, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? It's just take a big deep breath, settle into the flow of the week, and look at all the beautiful scenery around you. It's going to help things move along that instead of it needs to, it needs to, it needs to. We got to get there. Rush, rush, rush. It's just going to make it feel like it's taking forever instead of enjoying the journey. The three cards. First, you have the moon energy. We've got a Virgo new moon tomorrow that they're bringing up here. It is about the daily tasks. There is some beautiful energy around Virgo that that's out there, to be aware of it, because it has a lot to do. Virgo is our health. It's our day-to-day tasks and organization of things. So I feel like that's going to be an influence for you this week too. Going to have this desire to declutter and get organized and align your schedule and bring your Queen of Pentacles, your mother nature, mother nurture, and care for your body. It's like starting a new focus on taking care of me kind of energy too. That's coming in, taking care of my body, my physical body and health. So I feel like there's a great deal of energy here. And the Emperor, yeah. Emperor energy is an energy. It's Aries, fire, action, but deciding what I want, putting a plan together, taking action with it, sending everyone else's opinion and everyone else in the throne room out because I need to have silence. I'm going to decide some things. So there is this energy of really, wow, two major arcana too in the Queen, El Royal, very powerful energy to start off the week of like stepping into me, following my heart. What do I want? Not just disorganized energy going everywhere, but really focusing on the energy and what you want to grow and in your life. So I like that for you. Then you have the one in the middle, the Nine of Cups. Yeah. Nine being the Hermit's energy with the cups. What is my dream come true? What does my heart want? Not what my mind thinks I'm supposed to want. Again, this Emperor energy in the heart, it's about following your heart. And I like this. The beginning starts off like, here's all this, me taking care of me putting things into action, me choosing, but that's where the out of order comes, right? It's like it feels like you're taking steps towards a dream, but you're making plans before realizing what your dream is. So I feel like Monday, Tuesday-ish might be like, okay, I'm going to make all these decisions, everything. And Wednesday, it's wait a minute, let me put the heart filter on everything. And then that changes some of what I'm wanting to do. Wednesday, Thursday-ish. And then into the rest of it, the Page of Swords. Yeah, here's the clarity that comes in that you're looking for and desiring with the Five of Pentacles. Yeah. The Five of Pentacles is an energy of transformation, of like from a feeling of a fear of not having enough, not being enough, being left behind, being left on the cold, abandoned. And so there's some clarity of why am I afraid to move forward and do the things that I want to do? And it's like, oh, there's this fear of not having enough. And what that means. And I feel like there's some clarity. And again, that's out of order, right? That's kind of the really, even maybe not in the middle, is the thing we can look at first or last. It really doesn't matter. When it all comes down to it, all this is like, we're going to hit each stage at some time. And it just feels like that's how you choose to do it this week. But it's important. Yeah, the bottom of the deck underneath it all is the Nine of Swords. Nightmares and insomnia. What am I afraid of? What's at the root of everything? Well, I'm afraid if I go follow my dreams, if I don't have enough, if I don't have enough income coming in or whatever, or I don't meet someone or whatever it may be, I'm going to be alone and die by myself out in the outskirts of town, no one loving me, and I'm going to get eaten by wolves. What is the ridiculous fears that we have at our core that, the clarity that comes in can really, you know, show us, yeah, what am I really afraid of? What's the chance that that would really happen? It's like, no, we would most likely thrive following our heart anyway, right? Or we die with joy, howling with the wolves as they bite my foot. No, but it's like really facing the reality of what our fears are and just seeing them, how ridiculous some of them can be, right? Your fortune cookie is the bog, stagnation. Yeah, right? Ready to move forward, ready to get out of the, doing what I've always done and getting what I've always gotten kind of energy, right? Boglands are profoundly still and silent places. In them, time hardly seems to pass at all. Is that next week? Oh, it feels like I'm stuck in a bog. Decay and decomposition are also suspended there, so our ancestors buried bodies deep in the moist peat to preserve them. If you reach your hands down into that rich black butter, who knows what buried mysteries you might find. To love a bog, then, is to love secrecy and subtlety, to forage for what lies hidden beneath the surface. Superficially, a bog might seem like a dark and bleak place, and yet, if you choose to look closely, it will reveal an abundance of subtle color, of texture, and of life. It won't shout out at you like a flower garden or a rainforest. A bog will creep up on you and offer up its gifts one or two at a time. In this way, you come to see them more clearly and know them more deeply, because there's little else to crowd them out. Excuse me. A bog then teaches us to look for treasure in the most unlikely places, to focus on the close-up, the quiet, the seemingly obscure. But above all, this card asks us to understand that sometimes what appears to be stagnation is actually preservation. There are times when we need to hold still to preserve our energy and life force. There are times when we need to rest our assaulted senses, to cut back and pare down, to reduce our tendency for overwhelm, and to drink in the beauty of the everyday. Such Virgo energy, really. But I love that. So hopefully that resonates for you, Michelle. That's what they have for you for this week. So thank you again for your donation. I greatly appreciate that. All right. Anna Banana, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. So the adventures of love continue. Interesting. Oh, I tell ya. All right. So you want to know, why did he send the text he did tonight? Why all of a sudden the quick change? Has he talked to their ex today? So that was question one. Let's take a look here. So why the sudden change? Let's just find out. Did he talk to his ex today? And then what else they want you to know here? Okay. That one. What else? All right. That one. All right. So, did he talk to his ex? No. 10 of Swords. That's expectations equal disappointment energy here. So there is, this is not, so for it being a different message within it is a no, that it's not, because he talked to his ex. I feel like there is a lot of expectations that his ex had, and he would feel that if he went back to or that it would be like going back into a prison, because there was a lot of expectations. There was a lot of, you need to do this, you're not doing this, and there's a lot of that expectation energy that sucks the life out of our relationship, right? The bottom of the deck, we do have the Three of Pentacles, which is an energy about being true to one's authentic self. And the cage is the opposite. The expectations is that I'm not being who someone wants me to be, and I don't want to have to try to be someone that I don't want to be, energy when it comes to their ex. So that is the, expectations equal disappointment, and the fear of disappointing someone, and going through that again. They're not healed from that yet. And so we have that that energy that's there. And okay, what else? Got the Chariot. Yep, the power of choice energy that's coming in here. Let's see what else we have. The Ace of Cups. Yeah, that's the self-love, the decision to choose my self-love, and the Ace of Swords, needing clarity, needing to understand myself before all this, not wanting to repeat patterns. Even on the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Cups, which is I don't want to keep going back and having relationships before I found my self-love. So I feel like there is this, yeah, maybe like you said, things felt like they were going so good and going along and everything, but then they were like, I am going back the same pattern that I've always done, and I need to step back and discover who I am, find my self-love, because I can't, that's the thing. We can't give more love to others than we have for ourselves, nor receive love from others more than we have for ourselves. So I feel like they are like, I need me time. I need to find this so I don't keep repeating old patterns. And like, like you said in the text thing, that I thought I was ready, but I'm not. And I thought I was over it, but I'm not. I need to step back. I need to be I need to resolve inner things. And so I don't feel like it's towards you. I feel like this is just how things were unfolding. It was just triggering a lot of things that he had with his ex, and that's, yeah. So that makes sense that he's been through a recent loss. Was not just his brother last year, but that a recent breakup. So don't want to be a rebounder. And then you had asked, you're taller than him. Does that bother him? I don't feel like that's not the reason why any of this happened, but we can just ask him, does he mind? No. Four of Swords, peace of mind, calm. You make him feel safe. No, I'm just kidding. The tall Amazon woman can rescue me. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it doesn't bother him. With peace of mind, it's not that. I feel like it's self-awareness here, which is good. And I feel like, that's the reason for the human doing what they did. I feel here, okay, thank you. I was going to do I need to pull cards? They're like, no, the fortune cookie will tell you, why was this happening for you, right? Because we can go, why is this happening to me? Why? But why is it happening for you? Why did you want this to happen in your life? What do you want to learn through this for yourself, for your own growth? Here, so all these cards played out. All right, but it was this one they wanted. What do we have here? Yep, the river, the flow. Not trying to control, but go with the flow, right? Card number 10, The river, endings and beginnings energy, right? So rivers and springs, the old stories tell us, have their origins in the other world and carry with them its life-giving nourishment. In European myth and folklore, they're closely identified with divine women who are present in the water's flow. From the perspective of a map, the path of a river might seem to be fixed, but the truth is they're dynamic beings. A river's course will shift and flex during its long lifetime, and its waters will swell or diminish from day to day. Sometimes a river will rise and break free of its banks, casting off all that restrains its inexorable flow. It's the ultimate in flexibility, but its strength must not be underestimated. When rocks meet water, it's rocks that always eventually give way. A river is a silver thread snaking through the land. She's everywhere and nowhere. She travels on past us, but still she remains. She's the flow of all our longings, the flow of inspiration that propels us through this life. She knows exactly where she's headed from the very beginning. She's always on her way home to the sea. The river always leads you home if you can only bring yourself to trust the flow of life as it carries you onward. This card invites you to trust that flow of life, to stop resisting and believe that the course you're taking, though often it will twist and sometimes it will turn back on itself, will eventually lead you home. Wow. So trust the process, let go of control, and go with the flow, right? It teaches us the more we think. And that goes back to that expectations message. Of course, I know it was not left. You picked it up that, oh, expectations, I know. But it's a good energy because because that's where control comes from is uh, this is the way, like a statement of it was going so good means it was checking off and meeting with the expectations. It's always perfect. It's always good. Just these expectations are where disappointment happens. It was supposed to lead to this. It was supposed to continue. It was supposed to bring me that's supposed to is those expectations. Because if we have disappointment, then that's where we know expectations were there. And that's the solid rock, that gets withered away by the waters that will continually, it's like life is designed. The more we expect of things out here, the more disappointment we get. Eventually, after disappointment and disappointments, we turn inward, and then that's when we just learn to more and more flow with what is, trusting that the creator is going to bring us the perfect situations and people and the perfect timings and the perfect ways, and that I can have gratitude for what is unfolding and enjoy the journey. But when we have a focus of a destination, or that's where our disappointments come in. So I love that awareness that comes in. So hopefully that helps, Anna. That's what they have for you right now. So many blessings. Thank you again for your donation. All right. And then we have Sonali Thakur. You are up. Thank you for your donation. You wanted to know what are SM's thoughts and intentions. So let's take a look here. What are SM's thoughts and intentions? Boom. Cards are coming out. Look out. Look out. All right. So, bottom of the deck, overall, there is this transformational energy that's coming in here. So, I do feel like there is a bit of a change going on in their life, and especially towards you, but it's because their whole life is transforming too. So It's like the life of a caterpillar to a butterfly. It's not a slight change, it's like a huge change, right? But it is impacting their intentions, I feel more. Let's see what their thoughts are here. We do have the Knight of Cups. Yeah, they do have this movement of emotion here. And the Hierophant. Yeah. Hierophant is, it's a major arcana card of a five, which is the card of change. The number five is the card of change. But it's seeing things from a higher perspective is bringing in this desire and these thoughts of change. And with the Knight of Cups, it is about thoughts around acting, taking action on emotions. And let's see what their intentions are here, because I feel like this is what's been happening. Something's triggering them to take action in one way or another in their life. Sitting in their energy, I feel like they've had a significant change of events in their life. Like it would be like a grandparent or parent passing. Like a job, losing a job feels like not big enough. So I feel like they've lost someone to death in their life. That's really like made them think about life. Let's see what this intentions are. Well, so two directions. You're like, oh, we're so hopeful. Well, I guess these are the two directions. The one that's looking up is the Magician, about moving forward, expressing passion. So I do feel like there's action having, and the Two of Swords, which is the energy down below, which is the battle between the head and the heart. But it feels like the heart with this Knight of Cups is winning out. So I do feel like they're going to share. It's not emotion, though. Even though the Knight of Cups is here, they're thinking, I want to act on emotion. But just because I want to doesn't mean I have the capacity to. Which, what I mean by that is, if I don't have a whole lot of self-love for myself, I can't give you something I don't have for myself. So if I have a thimble, oh, actually I have this little sea salt orchid stuff. So if this is as much self-love as I have, this is all I can give you. I can't give you more than what I have for myself. So they don't have a whole lot of emotion to give. So they've learned to give through passion, through action. So I do feel like they're going to take action towards you here, but it's not going to be really what you think it would be. Yeah, and I saw this under the Hanged Man, which is the Knight of Wands. So instead of, it's like, this is what they want to give and what they think they'll give, but this is what they end up giving, is passion and attraction, motion, not emotion. That comes in with that. So yeah. And I know sometimes it's like, oh, I'll take that. That's good enough. If I can have that, that's fine. At least I'm getting something. At least there's something happening, right? But you deserve more than that, you know. And I don't feel like it's something, I mean, they have to work on their self-love to be able to offer it. I don't feel like it doesn't feel like that's something that they would really invest a lot of time in. Let's see what your fortune cookie says. Yep, shape-shifting. So their life is a changing here. Let's see what this brings in here for you. So the shape shift reflects an unbearable lightness of being, the antithesis to rigidity, and European myth and tradition is overflowing with shape-shifting women. Goddesses shift constantly between human and animal form. Men marry seal women, and fairy tale heroines transform the bears who are their husbands back into men. Maybe you're going to kiss the beast and turn him. Is it Beauty and the Beast? These traditions reflect an ancient worldview in which humans were seen as an intrinsic part of the natural world and were related to the other than humans who inhabit it alongside us, rather than being separate from nature and possessing dominion over all other creatures within it, as we imagine ourselves to be today. These shape-shifting beings represent a rich and necessary wildness within us that modern civilization has all but wiped out. So to shapeshift is to embrace transformation in all its unexpected complexities. So the transformation they're going through, embrace their transformation. It's also to acknowledge the fluid relationship between human and animal, and to respect and cultivate the wisdom and ways of the being of other than humans. By imagining ourselves as one with our animal relatives, we can come to see that there are other ways of imagining the world and our place in it. We can discover ways of living more intensely, more richly, and with a deeper sense of belonging to this multi-layered and animate world. It's interesting. I know buried within there is this energy of they are transforming. And if you want to live a fairy tale, that sounds pretty bad, right? If you want to live a fairy tale, you can believe that I can transform them. I can turn them from a beast into a beautiful person that will be who I want them to be. But sometimes when you kiss a frog, it's just a frog. And they're not going to turn into a prince. And you're like, up, up, hmm. So something to think about. Is it worth, could you be with them as they are now? And if your answer is no, then set the beast on its own back into the wild, right? So I feel like that's what your message is right now, Sonali. I know, how fun. All right. So many blessings to you, my dear. Thank you again for your donation. All right, Sudesh Nagojlik, you got 10707. So this will be for 2, and then we're going to jump to Patty, and then we'll come back for your last 2. So, all right. So then your first one was the next 72 hours for you. So let's take a look here. We've got this one and this one and this one. So 3 days, overall energy. You do have the death card. So definitely ending and beginning energy, transformational energy, which is good. Every ending brings a beginning. And so the next 72 hours does feel like a transformational energy. Like I feel like something, and death card is significant, something significant is changing for you. Something within you is dying to make space for the rebirth. Like a phoenix has to burn down to rise, right? So I feel like this is something, but I don't feel like this is happening outside of you. I feel like you are doing something within you. Let's see what the first 24 hours is. You have the 8 of Wands. There's a lot of energy that's happening here in the next 72 hours, a lot of action, a lot of activity, a lot of passionate energy, but it feels like fire, burning energy. Not really burning of yourself, though. It just feels like not like rage, but almost. It feels like the next 72 hours that there's just this. Well, it's like an anger that's rooted in fear. But I feel like, you know, how like when we're experiencing loss, there's the whatever the stages of loss, anger is one of them. And I feel like there's anger of something that you've been sorrowful about, but there's this anger that sparks in the next 24 hours. The next 24 hours after that, you do have the Knight of Swords. Then comes the clarity. Then comes the movement of thought. Then comes the action based on new ways of thinking. I'm going to do things differently. I'm seeing things differently. Now that I've calmed down and I've raged, and you allowed it out, whether it's screaming into a pillow or into a valley or underwater or whatever, it's flowed, it's allowed to go. And then you come back to your peaceful mind where you can think more clearly and see things more clearly, and then make, because of a change of thought, then you make plans of change. And then the 24 hours after that, you have the Page of Cups. Yep, there's a new sense of emotion. It's like there is this, I'm releasing things, I'm moving forward. You feel light. Your emotions are lighter too. And that's all based on current energy. Under the Death card, you do have the Ace of Wands, which is I'm taking action. You also have the Seven of Pentacles that they want to show, which is realizing that the fruit that I got from my labor isn't what I want. I want something different. And I'm going to make a change, a different change. Even though the Page of Wands fall out, I'm taking action. I'm not waiting around for other people to decide for me. I'm taking action. Right. We'll pull your fortune cookie after your last question, I feel is what they're telling me. Right. So that's what they have for the next 72 hours. For your second question, this is about Sumita and Arnab. So it's an arranged marriage match. So how's the matching? All right, let's take a look. So how's this match? Thank you. That too. All right. Based on current energy, will things move forward? Meaning, and then will they get married? So will things move forward? Will they get married? All based on current energy. The second meeting has happened this weekend, right? Well, again, Ace of Wands energy coming in. There is action and movement, and Queen of Wands energy that happens here, right? And don't we get this a lot for Sumita when we're asking about her marriage? It's up to her energy, right? So much that's underlined underneath is, what is her focus? It is her life, even though, like, with arranged marriages and the culture, it's like, well, it's not up to me. It's up to my family. And like, in the princess storytelling of the princess goes to marry the king or the prince, that is the arrangement is made, right? But I feel like they're really bringing it back to remember that her life, and as well as all of us, our own energy is what draws our life and experiences in. So if you haven't talked to her about, when I have gratitude and I focus on what I love in life, then I open things up. If I focus on what I'm missing, what I want, what I need, it means I feel like I don't have enough in this moment, that I need something else. That's lack energy, pushes things away, right? So the message of energy and focus is so important. What is the match? How's the matching between the two? We got the Page of Pentacles. There's abundance energy there, physical world stuff. Two of Pentacles, balanced. It's all about the physical world, the coin. Underlying energy is the King of Swords. A lot of mental energy here. I don't see that it's, at least at the starting point, there's not emotion there. It is more of a meeting of the minds. They'd have great communication. I feel like they would have a great cerebral mental relationship, and there's abundance here. But and maybe passion, and maybe love will come later, but I feel like the matching, it feels like that's good, right? I mean, Pentacles, abundance, that's good. Communication and being able to have this wonderful, how we talk with one another, that we're interested in learning about same things, and the mind, and that's good. Rather than it just being love but no communication and and no abundance. So it's a good start, right? We like that. That's good enough. If we had to choose, it could be worse. But let's take a look here. Will things move forward? We have the Knight of Cups. That is a yes. Heart moves forward. Love moves forward. The arrangement of a relationship moves forward. And will they get married? We do have the Judgment card. The Judgment card is an energy of clarity and a calling to something different, something more in alignment with my heart and soul. So I feel like it moves forward into the next stage, but I feel like with this Judgment card, it just feels like there's an ending with the two X's of the Judgment card at the top up here. XX, it's just like I feel like I don't know if this has started and stopped before, but it feels like it's started up now and it's going to stop again with that energy and we got the Hermit card on the bottom. So it ends up being not unfolding at this point. Maybe there's going to be third time's a charm with them, but I feel like there's something that delays it, that keeps it from moving forward to the next step after that. Interesting. Right? But it goes back to her energy. What is she wanting? Is she focusing on lack? Because if she is, then that's what brings in that, pushing it away. It comes forward, and then my fears of it not working out or not finding love or whatever low energies will push it further away, right? All right. So that's what they have for those two. And I will circle back around for your other two here in a moment. But first, we're moving on to Patty. So Patty, timestamp here. Thank you for your donation. He said the hearing could not take place due to some technicalities. It was postponed. Oh, great. Torture, right? Was there spiritual intervention? All right. Let's find out here. It's always happening for us. So in a way, there's always spiritual intervention with everything that's unfolding in our life, because our life does unfold for us, right? So there's always, if something's delayed, it's always for us in one way or another. So let's take a look here, see if they'll tell us anything about it here. Okay. Pause. Okay, we got this, and then, okay. Thank you. Underlying energies. All right. It will eventually move forward here, because you got one card and then two cards and then two cards and then three cards. So there's that pause. Normally 1, 2, 3, not 1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4, 3. Here we go, right? And it jumps up to actually 4 cards. So it skips a step. 1, 2, 2, 4. It's like, and then it leaps ahead. So, and then we got underlying energy. Let's see what this is here. We do have the King of Pentacles on the bottom, which is, of course, one of the most abundant cards in the deck, the ruler over all the coin. So the delay was for you, and it does end up being on your behalf, that it helps the delay. Let's see what this is about. We've got the 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, so it starts off, the number 1 is this feeling of lack, this feeling of abandonment, being left behind, being left out in the cold, kind of energy, which is kind of where the hearing is rooted in that, right? And then we have the 9 of Swords and the Judgment. Yeah, the fears, 9 of Swords, all the fears. But the Judgment card is like this calling for us to see things from a higher perspective. It allows us the time. Like, these delays have been allowing you the ability to question the fears, see things from that higher perspective. Again, that everything that unfolds is for me in some way, somehow. I may not be able to see it in the moment, but I can trust that the universe is kind, that the universe is in my corner, and that what happens in my life I learn and grow through, and that sometimes it closes the door to have me go into a different place, and it allows me the nudge to move forward sometimes, right? But it allows us, sometimes our fear will keep us from moving forward. But then when we're able to step and have time to calm down and look from a different perspective, we see the situation differently too. And I feel like that's some of what is happening here is they're seeing it, the situation differently. What else do we have here? Yeah, we got the Magician energy and the Four of Cups. The Magician energy is, you know, what influences our life is our energy. Our energy, of course, is what is uh, sending out a pulse to the universe. This is what I want more of. You know, I talk about you go into a donut shop, you point at all the things you hate, you get a dozen donuts you hate. You go into a donut shop, point at all the donuts you love, you get a dozen of donuts you love. So the Four of Cups is about emotional stability and bringing your emotions into balance. And so I feel like there's a little bit, this delay allows you to go, okay, gives me more time to kind of step back and go, what am I fearing? Where am I out of balance emotionally? What are the lower vibration emotions of frustration, hatred, pain, suffering, fear of failure, whatever all the fears are that bubble up? It's like, what is it? So it is giving you that opportunity to face that, but then also to change that energy, right? And then we leap up to what comes next with the four cards here. You do have the High Priestess. Okay. That is an energy of stepping away to see things from a different perspective. And the Hermit, I was going to say, I bet you're going to get the Hermit too. So there is this movement away where you are away to yourself, right? And I think we talked about this, that I feel like there's energy that's coming, that you are to move on to something else, to move something differently, to be off with yourself, away from all this, because it is a place of peace that you're headed toward. You got the Temperance, yeah, balance and patience, that turns into this beautiful goal at the end of it. The Temperance is trusting that even though it doesn't look like things are unfolding, and for you, that suddenly things turn to gold and you're like, wow, okay, this is for me, right? And the Queen of Wands, well, so you got three major arcana, which talks about a major transformation for you. But the Queen of Wands, here's you holding that Wands energy again, like the Magician. But the how big of a success, or how quickly things move, how abundantly things are, all about us, right? The more gratitude that I can try to muster in this moment, about in this here right now, not the future that I fear or the past that I but what do I love about who I am and what my life is, what do I love about what my life has been, what have I loved about jobs and abundance in my past, and all that stuff just draws in more of that. If I focus on light, I get more light. If I focus on dark, I get more dark. So I feel like it's an important reminder with all this. Underlying energy, you have the Five of Swords. You have the battle that wages between the head and the heart, and the Page of Swords, the clarity that comes out of all of this. So the conflict that this has been bringing up in your life, again, is for us, because it helps us see mindsets and things that we're running automatically below the surface. Thoughts about my worth, thoughts about what I deserve, thoughts about what I need to put up with, um, all these things of deservedness, and that I don't deserve better, that, oh, well, I'll put up with this. All of this stuff comes up to free us to move forward into something that's more in alignment with what you truly deserve. and what your energy really is. So hopefully that helps, Patty. Let's get you your fortune cookie here too. I think this is the one here. Yep, transformation, death and rebirth, even card 13. So I do feel all of this is an ending and beginning, and it is for you. I love it. Transformation takes place as a consequence of difficult, testing, initiatory experiences, which are alchemical in nature. That temperance card you got is all about alchemy. The ancient art of alchemy is centered on the ways in which one thing can be changed into another, and its goal is to be perfect. And its goal is to perfect, purify, or profoundly evolve the material in question. In the Western mystery traditions, the achievement of gnosis, personal knowledge and enlightenment, was an important consequence of this process, which would eventually lead the individual to a sense of completeness and possibility. You can't make this up. Ultimately, transformation is the end point of the heroine's journey because transformation is the stuff of life. To be human means always to be growing, to be transforming, and we're all alchemists deep inside. It's only by allowing ourselves to be transformed that we can hope in turn to transform the world. If we want to change the dominant, life-denying cultural mythology, which is failing us and failing the planet, we can begin by transforming the stories that each of us chooses to live by. That's the stories of our mind, right? In the process, we'll uncover our personal calling and discover the unique gift that we each bring to the world at this time. This card invites us to surrender ourselves to that profound process of never-ending becoming. Wow. All right, my dear. Can't add more to that, can we? Thank you again for your donation and enjoy your transformation. It is for you, right? Absolutely. All right. Thank you again. All right. And then Sudeshna, we are circling back around for your final two here. And okay, let me just split these up here. So your third one, but first of the second group, should you pursue the data business analyst as your new technology for a job, switch in the IT sector, or should you look for any other technology, spirit, guidance, please? All right. So yeah, of course they have no shoulds. They'll just kind of tell you the energy here. I know we've talked about all that before, so I won't regurgitate it all. You understand, spirit leaves it up to you to decide, but they'll give you the energy and see what matches more of what you're wanting. So data business analyst or other. All right. What else do they want you to know here about other? Like there was extra there. Yeah, I like it. You know, the bottom of the deck, you have the King of Cups, which is the balance between the head and the heart. And I like that because they're like, choose something that, you know, we can get in this battle between the head and our heart, that our mind says, this is the supposed to, the should, what I need to do, what I need to achieve, all of these opinions that are in our head. And then there's our heart going, I want this, you know. So, but there is something that can please both the head and the heart, but it's easier to find out what our heart wants and then just ask the mind, what our heart wants are you okay with? Then it's like nothing. And it's like, well, there's no nothing option. You need to choose one. And they're like, well, if I had to choose, I'll be okay with this one. Then there's this combination of things that your heart and your head like, and that you can move toward, right? So that's the underlying energy of your reading. Business analyst energy, got the Justice card. There is see things from a higher perspective. There is this clarity. I feel like we got this maybe before when we asked about business analysts, but it's when you're in that, you learn and you cut away. I feel like business analyst would not be a final thing. It would be something that would be a stepping stone that would really bring clarity around something you really want. So I feel like it would help you because of all the departments and things that you would interact with. It would help you um, decide on what else you would want to truly do. I feel like it would bring clarity in one way or another with that. The other, yeah, King of Swords. I do feel like it's something that with the King of Swords, this is the master of education and mind. I feel like there is something else, but it would require some additional schooling. Let's see what these three cards underneath that, the underlying energy. Yeah, it's something with emotional, something that's more in tune with your what your heart wants. The Page of Wands, something that you're passionate about, that you're excited about. And the Queen of Swords, something that's a balance between the head and the heart. Both of these cards have the same energy. The one on the bottom of the deck and this one too. Oh my gosh. I was going to say it almost looks like they meld together. But so I feel like what you're being nudged towards, it's like getting out of your head with, money, what will people think, and just really get in tune with what excites you in life. It doesn't even have to be an IT, but what's your passion? What are you excited about? What would make your heart sing that you would love to do with your life and not what you think you're supposed to? Because I feel like this is where you're being nudged to, is to close your eyes, get out of your head, open your heart, see where it's leading you, see where you can mesh two things together. What your mind is wanting, what your heart is wanting, how you can kind of build that together. So I feel like that's the guidance that Spirit has for you with that. I know, but that's what they have. All right. And then lastly, but not leastly, and then we'll get your fortune cookie too. Can't forget that. You want to know, how did T feel regarding the farewell that you gave him yesterday for his company change? Right. So what was his feelings? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. And then what are his current feelings regarding you? All right. Okay. Yeah. So, of course, the bottom of the deck energy represents Three of Wands, someone changing direction and going a different direction. That's, of course, them leaving on their journey. In a lot of ways, they're moving companies, they're moving all this stuff, movement in life, right? How do they feel about the farewell? Ace of Pentacles. So they liked it. They like the said the getaway. That's the Freudian, right? The getaway. They're able to escape this company, but the farewell energy. I don't know. I was thinking getaway, but they feel like they're escaping, I guess. But they do feel abundant. They were glad for their Seven of Pentacles. Feel like, let me see what this other card is too here. Yeah, transformation energy again. There's this slowness. They feel like, I feel like they were focused in here so much on that it's taken them a long time to be able to move on to where they really wanted to be and go. And so they felt like it was a good celebration with the Ace of Pentacles. But both of the Hangman, the Seven Pentacles, are a slowness card, are looking for the reward in it. I almost feel like there was a little bit of a disappointment that they kind of felt like they would, like, I thought I would get something extra special, not from like you, but from maybe the company or someone, and me leaving, and they kind of felt like I didn't really get something from them. No, not appreciation for the job that I've done, at least not to the level that they felt they deserved. So it's kind of a bittersweet farewell in that they appreciate, that what you guys did it, but they wanted something from the company that they didn't get. Interesting, right? Let's see their current feelings for you. Yeah, we got the Six of Cups energy and the Three of Cups energy that are coming in here. Emotional energy, right? We wanted to know how they, we wanted their thoughts. But the feelings energy here, they got the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is like friend energy, community energy. Three's a crowd. Not three's a crowd, but three is multiple people energy. Six of Cups is an interesting energy to come up with all this because it's about childhood. I'm really just picking up childhood energy or child energy. And and this is their thoughts. This doesn't mean that it's true, but you want to know how their thoughts are. They do feel like we could be friends, but I feel like there wouldn't be more than that with what their thoughts are with this, because three of cups is an energy of like a social group, but it's also third party, like an extra person or someone on the side energy. It's not coupled energy. It's third person, right? Or a crowd of people, a group of people. And the Six of Cups is an energy. I just feel child energy, which is like almost like sibling energy, but it's an energy of like, I feel like I'm an older child. I feel like I'm trying to find a nice way to say it, but I'm just going to say it like I'm more mature than you. I'm in a different place than you. Not that you act childish, but they kind of feel like I'm an adult, and a lot of people are children, not just you. They just kind of feel this. It's not a sense of superiority, but close to it. Um, just this feeling of like, and here underneath the bottom of the deck, I'm a leader, and I'm a leader, and people are to follow me, kind of energy. I'm a natural leader. I'm a leader. People follow me. And that's the kind of energy that's coming in here. I don't feel romantic feelings, as I feel like they're kind of more friend zone energy that's coming in. Let's see here what your final fortune cookie brings in, if there's any more clarity around anything they want you to know about any of your questions or your life or whatever. We just will be whatever they want to tell you here. All right, here we go. All right, you got divine madness. Here's that mad energy tomorrow. No, madness I think is going crazy in them from in a beautiful divine way. We'll find out here what it really means. But let's see what it has here. So the old Irish story of Mish tells of a woman who, driven mad by grief and the horrors of war, grows fur and feathers. She flies away into the hills and woods, eats wild and raw food, and leaves the intolerable world behind her. Mish then represents the woman who cannot and will not submit to the brutalities of the world around her. She withdraws from civilization and take solace in the natural world. In the extremity of some grief, in the extremity of some great grief or trauma, the archetypal mad woman or wild woman inside us might break out. I swear this is the energy we have for you for tomorrow. And at such times in our lives, it might be a good thing to allow ourselves to break and run for the simple solitude of the hills, to withdraw from the unendurable everyday, to safely express our rage and lick our bleeding wounds, and to allow the natural world to work its healing magic on us. Because this disintegration of our civilized, socialized selves forces us to uncover, in the depths of our extremity, whatever it is that we believe to be the source of life. Mish is the original wild woman, speaking for us all, for the rage which we cannot express, for the grief which eats our heart out, for the voices we've suppressed out of fear. Ultimately, Mish is healed by love and gentleness, and as a consequence, is able to return to the world with new strength and focus. Wow. Wow. In fact, I think, on the bottom of the deck, we had the strength card. It was the lion on the bottom. So there is strength that comes through all this, but I swear this is that energy of tomorrow of rage, letting yourself to feel your feelings instead of holding them in, and that is what sets you free. So that is what they have for you, my dear. Thank you again for your multiple donations. Hang in there. And that is the last reading for the session today. So thank you guys again so much for all of your love and all of your support and your patience in getting to these. I'm so grateful for that, and for all the financial support. It does help me continue to do what I do, and I'm very grateful for that. And we'll be back. Of course, we are here Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, 6 to 9 p.m. Mountain Time, and then also Saturday and Sundays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Sundays, I do come back on to finish out all readings, no matter donation or free readings. I come back on and finish them all. So if you guys have been trying for a free reading, please try another session, or for sure come back Friday. We'll make sure you get a message from Spirit. Till then, remember, every second of every day of your life, you truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the Mother and Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. So until I see you again, much love. Hang in there, take care of yourself. Remember, as I always say, have some fun. Because why are we being so serious? Life is a playground. Let's go play. All right. I love you guys. We'll see you.